I think we're good. I think we're all right. I think we're good. Let me make sure everything's good on YouTube's in, because I just started this through Streamlabs. So I'm not quite sure how that works. I recently discovered, believe it or not, that you can stream twice at the same channel can stream twice at a time. So I need to make sure I'm not doing some stupid ass shit like that. And then we'll lock in and get going. So yeah, I think we're okay. I'm really not sure. I don't feel confident. We got everything back up and running, but updated the drivers, whatever it initially hold on. Turn monetization on. Let's get fucking serious. Boom. Whenever it initially reset, that'd be a good time to insert ads. All right. Whenever it initially reset, it did not turn on the monitor. Then I turned it off and turned it back on, and now here we are. So maybe we're good. I'm not sure. I just have a bad feeling, knock on wood, that I'll be making a trip to Micro Sitter in the near future. Not really what I want to do, but not really what I want to do. But let's just get started. Man, it sucks that Bleacher Report Streaks is gone. B-Dot, if you're in here, do you mind tweeting out that link again? Do you mind deleting and then retweeting said link? We should be good. All right. So let's get into it, man. I want to say right off the rip, it was a bad weekend. It was a bad weekend for Mavs fans. It was just like everything that could possibly go wrong did. I guess the only part that was somewhat okay was the fact that all of the other shitters also stunk outside of, I guess the Timberwolves won last night. That was a big win, but the Clippers are free falling, it feels like. What other teams are around us? The Warriors are still playing well. Suns, yeah. More Suns, BDSM. Dude. Okay. Let's start. Good morning, folks. It is Monday, March 3rd, 11:20 a.m. If you're a Spotify listener and wondering, whoa, that's late. Yeah. Had some technical difficulties to start the stream. I don't know why I put some peanuts in my mouth right before I started recording. This is the professionalism that you come here for. But today we're going to discuss a handful of things. We're taking the Dallas Mavericks fan survey, first and foremost. That's what we're going to be doing. I have some interesting thoughts on it. But also, I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that happened across the league last night. And I would be remiss if we didn't start here. And I feel like this has become and I feel bad about this because it's not like my team has good vibes, but I feel like this has become a channel where we just kind of monitor the horrible shit vibes that are radiating out of Phoenix, Arizona. Because believe you me, folks, they're shit. There's no two ways around it. They're absolutely shit. They lose last night to the Timberwolves. So I just want to talk about it briefly because I watched the second half of this game. This is a team that's done. How do I know this for sure? You ask. Okay, let's go to the play-by-play. They go to the second half into halftime. The Suns are up 51-49. Okay. Timberwolves haven't been playing all that great lately, but they're getting some guys back. Fine. Where does it go downhill? The Suns give up the lead. 4 minutes into the third quarter, Timberwolves go on a bit of a run. Anthony Edwards makes a layup, 63-62. And from that point forward, it was a rout. They end up losing by 17 points. And the moment they got punched in the mouth, it was done. In the span of about 3 minutes, they were down by 13 points after giving up the lead. This is what it feels like when a team is done. It is. I can speak from experience. This is exactly what it feels like. Any sign of adversity, any sign of things not going your way, it's over. It's literally over. The moment that it feels like it's over, it is over. Sometimes you get teams where it's like, oh, I don't know, like they're battling out there. Like they might come back. They might even give us a fake comeback. We know that, right? We talk about fake comebacks a lot. Fake comeback. You don't even get that from this team anymore. It's just over. Like believe the team when they tell you something. The team tells you, hey guys, we're rolling over. It's done. We don't give a fuck anymore. Believe them. Sorry, Celtics or Cavs, call it. We'll talk about that here in a second. I just wanted to mention this. And not only that, I think what makes matters worse for the Suns is they're getting embarrassed on their home court, man. Jesus. They're getting embarrassed on their home court. Teams are laughing at them. Teams are making fun of them. The last play of the game, Dante DiVincenzo tries to throw a bounce lob, tries to bounce it to Anthony Edwards. Bradley Beal shoves him midair. Funny enough, explain this to me. Let me see if I can pull up a clip. Definitely a dirty play. There's no two ways around it. This is a dirty as fuck play. That goes without being said. But explain this to me. Let me pull up the highlight. This wasn't even called a foul originally. Bill, I respect Beal for that. No, man. No. Bradley Beal ruins one of the best in-game alley-oops ever. All right. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. But Bradley Beal shows him midair. What's funny about this wasn't even called a foul originally. They called it out of bounds. The Timberwolves had to challenge it. They went back and looked at it and then assessed a flagrant after that. Which actually, funny enough, this is crazy, is the second time in the last few days a player for the Suns was not given a flagrant foul immediately and then was later given one? Is that not kind of strange? Kevin Durant for punching, who was it that he punched? That was assessed a flagrant after the fact. I'm sad I didn't get a notification you were live again. Well, we had technical difficulties today, as per usual. Thoughts on people named Joseph? Interesting you bring that up. Let's go to the Magic game. Magic are in a bad way, folks. They made kind of a crazy-ass comeback at the end of their game yesterday, and Franz Wagner smoked a bunny that would have sent it to overtime. But they're in a bad way as of late. The reason why I bring this up. Do you notice anything from the guy named Joseph? Makovich, that's right. You notice anything from our guy named Joseph? Look at Corey Joseph's stat line and tell me something that you might pick up on. What up, Eric? Corey Joseph, plus 14. in 10 minutes. Why do I bring that up? The Orlando Magic have sat on their ass and have done nothing for the last 2 or so years. All right, that's cool. We're letting our young guys build. Fine. They could have very easily made some kind of aggressive move to position themselves a little bit better. They clearly need something offensively, especially, right? When a guy like Corey Joseph, shout out to Corey Joe, shout out to Kojo. When a guy like Corey Joseph is such a stabilizing presence for your offense, and your offense just looks like absolute shit when he's not on the court, that's a problem. That's a big time problem. Probably should address that instead of sitting around and doing fucking nothing all the time. Do something. Do something for once, please. I tweeted this out yesterday. DeAndre Hunter popped off last night, or I guess yesterday afternoon against the Blazers. 32 points. He's been playing really well. I'm done with these teams that sit around and do nothing every single trade deadline. It's every once in a while you have a trade deadline where you don't do anything. That's fine. But the teams that sit around and do nothing every single trade deadline, I'm done with them, man. I'm done with them. Done with these annoying ass teams. I'm done with the Magic. No, we like our guys. Fuck you. Do something for once. Hey, 450 of you in here and 20 likes. Usually I'm not that guy, but come on, guys. I know it's probably a little bit weird since it's a second stream. We've technically already done the stream. It's a second stream. Can you guys get your head out of your ass? Thank you. I wish we would have done nothing this trade deadline. Yeah, I tweeted that out, and everyone was like, I wish one team did nothing. True. Well, there's one thing that you can never say about the Dallas Mavericks. There's one thing you can never say about the Dallas Mavericks, and that is they do things at the trade deadline. They make big moves. They make big moves. It's one thing you can't say about them. That's true. They did finally trade Maxey. That is correct. What have you had enough of? We're gonna do the fan survey, and I did a tiny gloss over the questions yesterday, but I wanted to save it. I've had enough of the bullshit. Let's just get right into the survey, huh? We've had enough, y'all. We're done. Shout out to our good friend Tim Cato, friend of the show, friend of the program, teammate of mine. You know, and I don't take that lightly. We've been through hell together. If you want to take the survey, you go to Tim Cato's Twitter. It's right there. I'll go ahead and copy the link in here if you guys, if that's of any interest of you guys. We do this every year, the Dallas Mavericks fan survey, and we're gonna do it right now. A good amount of questions. Logan with the $2. Nico might be the smartest GM in NBA history. Stay on that side, man. Stay on that side. Pull up those Google Sheets, folks. Here we go. Should be a good survey. Should be. Would you rather scream a random word you have no control over 10 times a day, or every time you sneeze, a hamster appears in your hands? Well, here's a problem here, right? Is I have allergy problems. So, and from what I understand, don't hamsters fuck like crazy? Isn't there a reproductive problem there? So the issue is I would probably inadvertently double, triple, maybe even quadruple the hamster population of this planet, and I'm not entirely sure the consequences of that, right? Not entirely sure the consequences of that. Now, a problem the other thing is, you know, I am a public facing guy. I can't just be saying random words 10 times a day. Now I could say, hey guys, it's not in my control, but that's you know what I mean? Did you attend the Mavs ball? There is not a chance in hell I would ever be invited to that. You understand? Not a chance in hell. And they know who I am. I've talked to Mavs people, but there's not a chance in hell. Quality seems worse today. I streamed directly from Streamlabs, so I didn't have my usual settings. I don't know. It looks fine on my end, honestly. It looks normal to me. Okay, let's get into this. When did you become a Mavericks fan? Just get the jokes out of the way right now, please. Let's go. Get them out the way. Let's get the jokes out the way, guys. When did I become a Mavericks fan? Yeah, I want to hear y'all's answer as well. The 1990s? No. After the Luka trade? I would love to talk to someone like that. Someone's like, yeah, actually, I really didn't care much about the Mavs when Luka was here, but after the trade, I really locked in. I admired that. No, we do these every year. So mine's early 2000s, Dirk and Nash era. That's when I became a boy. That's when I started to early 2000s, probably around 2003, 2004. So really when I started to gain consciousness and really kind of lock in. I would maybe even say, depending on what they consider late 2000s, because it really was around 2004, 2005. And admittedly, there wasn't a lot of like Steve Nash. 2004, damn. There wasn't like a ton of Steve Nash crossover in my brain. But I will go early 2000s though. I remember you saying if nothing happens, we won't hear of you over the deadline, and then this dog pile happened. I know. It was 2002, 2003 for me. I was 7 years old. Yeah, I vividly remember my first memory. I want to say it was around 03 or something. My grandpa got courtside tickets through his work. Not courtside, but like 3 rows up. And we went. And that was like the first time that I would really was like, oh, shit, this is sick, right? And then the 2006 playoff run really cemented it. And then I remember one time we went, I don't remember when it was. It was later. I was like 13 or 14. I wasn't that young anymore. We went, I was with my dad. And I saw that like the ball boys, before like the game started, they were on the court shooting, like the ball boys. They're probably my age at the time, 13 or so. And this usher comes by, nice lady. But at the time, I felt like she was really patronizing me, okay? She walks up and I go, hey, how do I get on the court? I clearly talking about the kids shooting on the court. I was like, I want to go out there and shoot some hoops on the fucking Mavs court. And she looks at me, she goes, well, if you train really hard and you practice every day, one day you might be able to go on the court. And I was like, no, that's not. Thank you. I got it. Thanks. How many Mavericks games did you watch in the 23-24 regular season? All of them? Watched every single one? At least once. Some of them twice. How has the Doncic trade affected your fandom thus far? I saw the first game Steve Nash Suns played against the Mavs. It was after Revenge of the Sith. And they superimposed Dirk's head onto Obi-Wan and Steve Nash onto Anakin's. Dirk cut Steve's hair off. Hell yeah. There needs to be another one here. I'm going to say no change. I've done the same exact thing still, right? Actually, I would say less engaged because I missed a couple streams here and there. I have felt a little bit less engaged. If I'm being completely and totally honest with you, I have felt a little bit less engaged. How has the Doncic trade affected how often you watch Mavs game? No change there. I've still seen every single game. Feel free to elaborate on how and or the Doncic trade has changed your Mavs fandom. Well, Tim, and I feel okay calling you Tim. It's me, slightly biased. Look, when it comes to the trade, first name basis, yeah, right. Look, when it comes to the trade, what can you even say? I mean, seriously. That's a good answer right there. I'm gonna do the Adrian Brody speech. I'm gonna type for 5 minutes and 30 seconds and say nothing. When the trade happened, I thought to myself, surely this can't be real. Turns out it was. Every day since, I have tried to process it. And yet, I still have been unable to do so. I guess let me ask you, how has this trade changed your fandom? I look forward to hearing back from you. Right. This is how you do an interview, folks. You turn the table back. Right. You turn the question back. This is the Ryan Russello. Yes, this is the Ryan Russello podcast answer to this question. Look, when it comes to the trade, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it was a good trade or a bad trade. It was probably a bad trade, but who am I to say if it was a bad trade or not? We could look back at this in 10 years and say, you know what? That was actually a good trade. At the time, I want to say it's a bad trade, but everybody's saying it's a bad trade. I don't want to pile on. But will I sit here and say it's a good trade? Well, I'm not going to do that. But I could see your argument if you want to say it's a good trade. Look, you could go both sides on this. I'm just going to say, I don't think it's a good trade, but in 10 years, if we're going to look back on it and say it was a good trade, then okay, we're going to do that. Reminds me of the TLDR, Free Palestine. Too long, didn't read. Free Palestine. Okay. How closely have you / do you plan to follow Luka Doncic's Lakers career? This is where it starts to get rough, guys, because I've watched every game. Last night was kind of a shocking moment for me because I couldn't fucking do it, man. I'm sorry. I'm not rooting for them. I'm not rooting for the Lakers. Like, I have to be honest with you, man. I've just found myself not wanting them to win. And it has nothing to do with Luka, because when he does good things, I feel good. But it has everything to do with I don't want them to win, really. So what does that say? What does that say, really? I'll follow it. I'll follow it closely. I don't know if I'd say very closely. Based on the known reasons for the Doncic trade, which of the following statements most align with your opinion? The Doncic trade was justifiable as is. The Doncic trade was justifiable if Dallas had received more in return. The Doncic trade was not justifiable in any context. Yeah, it's probably not justifiable in any context. Not because, let me watch my words here. If the front office really thought, and look, one of my main takeaways here is the fact that they didn't fully expect the amount of blowback that they got sort of leads me to believe that things behind the scenes were probably pretty bad. Like it had reached a boiling point, at least from Nico's perspective. And so they thought that they would say, hey, all of these things are happening behind the scenes. And then fans would be like, oh, okay. But that's obviously not what happened. Even if we were to say, okay, there were some problems, whatever. You still should get more. You should still get more 10 times out of 10. They didn't say anything truly bad, though. I mean, none of the things that got said by the front office following the trade were stuff that we hadn't heard already, honest to God. But it just wasn't, it didn't sound great right after the trade. I would say you still, no matter what, you should have gotten more. Right, that's right. They haven't said anything we didn't know already. The only reason it didn't happen before the season was because they went to the finals and Harrison didn't think he could get away with it. I think that's true, honestly. Do you believe the reported reasons for the Doncic trade, conditioning, injury, risk, off-court habits, defense, culture, are the primary reasons for it? Regardless of whether you agree with them, do you believe these reasons are why he was traded? I do believe that's it. I believe that's it. Those excuses are stupid. What do you think it is then? I don't buy into any conspiracies. I don't buy into any of it. I don't think there's more. I'm going to be real. I mean, depends on what you define as more. I think that they thought we're not going to, because of all of the reasons that we said, we're not going to be comfortable paying him $350 million. That's why when those reports came out, I was like, oh, they're trying to avoid a tumultuous offseason. That's what they meant. It wasn't like, oh, Luka's going to demand a trade. It was, we're not going to extend him. Bill Duffy's going to come to us and say, hey, let's do it. 5 years, $350 million. Let's go. Let's sign it. And the Mavs are going to be like, oh, we're not sure we want to do that, actually. And then that was going to cause problems immediately. So I think that's it. I don't think there's a Vegas conspiracy involved. I don't think there's a league-wide conspiracy involved. I just don't think, I think that's it. Nico just thinks he's smarter than everyone else. Well, yeah, but I mean, that's it then. He traded him because Nico thought all of these things are problems. That's it. Nico doesn't like Luka. That's it. That's it to me. I'm sorry. I'm going Occam's razor. I know we want all of these conspiracies and all of these things to be true. I don't think any of them are true. I don't think Nico liked them. Feel free to elaborate on why you do or do not feel those reported reasons primarily led to the Doncic trade. Okay, sure. Occam's razor. Boom. That's it. How confident are you in Nico in the front office? Oh, man. Should I do that? Tim, and referencing back to my earlier answer, I feel comfortable calling you Tim. I'm going to go 2. Confidence has been shaken dramatically. But I still feel like in totality, if you take out the Luka trade, he's done a good job. So where does that leave me? How's the Grimes trade going? Grimes trade's not going well. Although I will say that the part where Grimes' agent wanted a trade never gets brought up in these conversations. And I'm going to be honest with you. And this is with me being like, dude, Nico Harrison's done some inexplicable shit recently. I still get, even with everything we know, I still get the logic of that trade. I do. I still get the logic of that trade 100%. It made sense to me. And it still does. Because you're not going to pay Grimes. You offered Grimes, and I'm assuming was $8 million a year, because that's what you've established. This is what we want to pay these guys. $8 million. It's what you gave Najee. It's what Caleb Martin's making. $8 million. This is what we want to pay these type of players. Just when we look at our contract situation, we don't want to hamstring ourselves by being in a first apron, second apron team. So, okay. Grimes didn't sign the extension. He's played his way into a contract that's probably a little bit outside of our price range at this point. Let's trade him for a guy who's under contract for $8 million a year. And on top of that, somebody who could be attached in a trade in the summer. They need a tradable guaranteed salary for the summer. Yeah, that really was it. And also, you brought in Max Christie, who, yeah, is probably going to slot in and do a lot of the same stuff. How's your confidence level in Nico Harrison's front office changed since his past summer? I mean, I would say less confident for sure. Yeah, it makes perfect sense for Grimes to want out. Or at least for Grimes' agent. I don't know if Grimes himself said it, but Grimes' agent was the report that Grimes' agent wanted out. That makes total sense. Quentin Grimes is not a proven NBA player. We need every chance we can get over the next couple of months to improve your value. And if you're going to be behind somebody on the depth chart potentially, then it makes sense. Grimes worth more to other teams. Agent makes more money. Yeah, exactly. And hopefully Caleb Martin plays this week. How confident are you in Patrick Dumont and the team's ownership group? I have no confidence. I would probably say this about Cuban. I don't feel confident in any team's ownership group. Why the fuck should I? Dude, throughout the history of sports, there's maybe a tiny handful of owners that you would feel really confident in. Outside of that, these guys, the owners are wishy-washy. Wishy-washy. There's no way you can see how clutch with the Fox situation with Sacramento, San Antonio, and think the superstars in the Luka trade didn't get exactly where they wanted to go. I really don't know if Luka would have asked to go to the Lakers if he had a choice. How has your confidence level in Patrick Dumont and the team's ownership group changed since the past summer? I would say no change. I don't know if I was ever confident in them in any real way. I don't know if I was ever confident in them. How confident are you the Mavericks can win a championship in the next 5 years? Total confidence, meaning that you 100% think they're going to win a championship in the next 5 years? I agree, Wopo. I kind of think it's 3. I don't think this is a bad team at all. Really, I don't. I look at the landscape of the West, and if they were healthy right now, we're having a completely different conversation. That goes without being said. I mean, they aren't bad, but they won a title. Luka loves Lakers and playing with LeBron. I don't think he would have picked the Lakers if he had a chance. I think it's 3. I think it's a 3. How much do you believe the Mavericks? Ivani, 12 months inside the Delusional Club. A year. New badge. Thanks for being our binky. You guys are welcome. I'm happy to be y'all's binky. That's true. I mean, winning a title is really difficult. And even with Luka on the team, I don't know how. It's just so difficult. Two's right. Two's fair. You basically have a 2 or 3 year window after this. How do you believe the Mavericks' current roster, when healthy, compares to the immediate future to what it was before the Doncic trade? When healthy, can I say something without getting screamed at? I would say it's about the same, probably. I would say when healthy, in the immediate future, this year, next year, I think they probably have the same ceiling. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit of a lower ceiling just because you don't have the Luka could pop off for 40 points in this playoff game thing. I think it's slightly worse solely due to Luka's offensive abilities. I think that makes your ceiling higher. Yeah, that's true. So you think this team, when healthy, would take us to the finals? I don't think it's impossible, man. I don't know. I look at the Western Conference right now, dude. Defense is much better. Nope, nobody can genuinely nobody could argue that, right? Surely you can't assume full health. Well, this does say when healthy. To be fair, Thunder Nuggets wash us, dude. The Nuggets are not good. The Nuggets are not the only reason why we even mention the Nuggets with like actual real contention talks is because they have Jokic. That is it. There's no other reason we do it. No other reason. Jokic just thinks the AD man. I can't trust it. Look at our resident Nuggets fan, DQ. My disgusting, disgraceful Nuggets. We need the basketball runs again. I know, dude. I know. It's been a while. Who cares about healthy? Guys, the question is saying when healthy. All right. That's what the question is saying. You think Kai's going to take it like Luka? Well, here's the thing, guys. They're not playing the same type of basketball anymore. Right? So Kyrie doesn't have to do all of the Luka things. That's not what's being asked of him when healthy. Lively injury prone though. Oh my God. All right. I'm just going to say here, how confident are you? How confident are you that Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, when both available, could be the 2 best players on a championship team? I think it's a 3. I mean, I don't know, guys. They've been okay. Think about this. How do you believe in the Mavs' current roster when healthy compares to the immediate future versus what it was for the Doncic trade? So the Mavs have done great in the playoffs, right? But they had been crawling through regular seasons and the 5 and 4 seed, all of that due to injuries and stuff like that. The highest they've been is a 4 seed. Do I think when healthy they could achieve that? Yeah, I do. I do believe that as well. And then do I think the right matchups, they can make another deep playoff run? I absolutely do believe that, especially when I look at the landscape of the Western Conference. I absolutely do believe that. Lively without Luka is a major question for me? No, not for me, honestly. I think offensively he might struggle a little bit more, but if the Nuggets get Mavs first round, Nugs in 5, do you not think Luka would have won a chip with the Mavs in the next 5 years? I mean, it wasn't a certainty. Guys, the question's when healthy. You guys are being really fucking annoying in the chat. The question literally says when healthy. And I get it. They're not healthy. I know. I fucking know. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm aware. That's not what the question says. How confident am I that Kyrie Irving and AD, when both available, can be the 2 best players on a championship team? Man, we talked about this once. I forgot what we were referencing. Paul with the $2. Hey, are you where they are healthy right now? Thank you, Paul. That you, historically speaking, I think we're talking about the Rockets. Historically speaking, if you want to really contend at the highest level, you have to have a top 5 player, top 7, maybe at worst. As much as I love Kyrie Irving, I don't think at this point in time he's going to be considered a top 5 player in the league. Absolutely should be an All-NBA player this year, though. AD is different. And I guess here's the thing where if the Mavericks did go on a long run, I think almost everyone would consider AD a top 5 player at the end of that run. Where is AD at right now? He's around top 7, right? Top 8, top 7. It definitely top 10. The way he was playing this year, for sure. I'll go 2. I feel like that's fine because that leaves me to that puts me where I was. Where how confident are you that the Mavs win a championship in the next 5 years? I'm not super confident, but I don't have no confidence. Feel free to elaborate on why you believe the current Mavericks team is better or worse in the immediate future than the team before the Doncic trade. They don't have the Luka killer raising their ceiling in the playoffs. What do I mean by that? Well, good question. Luka being someone who could pop off for 40 on any given night. I mean, that's doing him a disservice. 40 and 15 on any given night gives you a chance versus anyone. I do think, when healthy, this Mavericks team has a very high floor. Maybe even higher than before. However, they have to get healthy. And at the 999, I've been a Lakers fan since Kobe. However, Luka became my favorite player since Real Madrid. Last year when he was in the finals, I was rooting for him get his first title. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Anime. I hope you enjoy him. How confident are you that Kyrie Irving will remain in Dallas past the 2025 season? Total confidence. I'm a 5 there. I'm very confident in that. The Mavs derangement syndrome. Lakers with AD. Their team isn't good and get destroyed in the first round. AD on Mavs. I love this team. Well, they're different teams, dude. This Mavs team is a classic 45 to 60 win teams that maxes out in the conference finals at the latest. So you're saying that this team is a team that could win 60 games and make the conference finals? That's pretty damn good. Did you hear the rumor of Kyrie wanting Luke out of Dallas? No, I have not heard that, or at least like anything I remotely believe. Why do I think Kyrie is for sure staying in Dallas? It's a money thing, guys. The Mavs do not do this if they're not like, we're going to pay Kyrie in the summer. It wouldn't make it already doesn't make a lot of sense, but it would make absolutely zero sense if they're like, oh, we'll see about bringing Kyrie back. It's a money thing, man. The Mavs will pay him. There's no other teams that'll pay him, and that's that. Now, will Kyrie finish his career in Dallas? I don't know. Maybe that's a different conversation. Maybe that's a different conversation. I do think I'm very confident he will start next season with the Dallas Mavericks. And if I'm wrong, then I'll be very shocked. How about that? I will be incredibly surprised. Trade him for Bradley Beal. Oh my God. Which of the following non-Davis, non-Irving players are you confident can play 20 plus effective minutes in an NBA Finals game? This is a good question. D-Live, for sure. PJ, for sure. Christie, 20 plus effective minutes. I think Christie defensively at least gives you a solid enough floor, and he's a reliable shooter, and that can be streaky at times, but I think that he's somebody I can rely on. Clay at this juncture. $20 minutes. His ability to hit like 3 threes in a row at any given moment is big. 20 minutes for sure. I think that's probably where I'm done. 20 for Exum. After what we saw in the playoffs last year, no way you could say yes. Hardy, absolutely no chance. Gafford, I feel like Gafford's been so good this season. If there was team awards, Gafford would get most improved player for the Mavs. He's been tremendous. 20 minutes, though, I feel like certain matchups can play him off the court. We've seen this. If the opponent is the Celtics, take out Kyrie. That's a good point. That's a good point. Is Gafford going to fall off with no Luka lobs? Gafford was playing his best basketball of the season after Luka got hurt. So Dinwiddie, no chance. I'm sorry. Najee, oh man. I don't think I could confidently say Najee anymore. I really the 3-point shooting thing has become such a problem. at least with Clay, I could say his shooting ability, he spaces the floor. His shooting ability will put the Mavs back in the games. And if we're saying AD and is playing and other Mavs bigs, that floor spacing is going to be very, very important. No, Dinwiddie's not terrible. Dinwiddie's not terrible. And I know sometimes we poke fun at him, but 20 minutes in a finals game is a different story. I would love to do Najee, but I'm just not sure I can do Najee. And I'm not sure I could go. I know what Caleb Martin's done in the past in the postseason, but I'm not sure I could go there. Like, are we for sure going Caleb Martin? I mean, definitely not Omax. If you put Omax on here, please. No, I know Najee's floaters are for real, and the thing about Najee is he can at least attack that space with real consistency, which is good. But my problem is though, is it's just like I feel like it's going to make life so hard on other guys. If you have one guy, Najee Marshall, who's getting guarded off, who's getting completely and totally left alone from three, and then you have maybe if you have Gafford or Lively on the court, those guys aren't getting guarded on the perimeter, and then you have AD, who's probably not getting a ton of attention on the perimeter. Najee's going to be treated just like Derek Jones Jr., but now there's no Luka shot creation. Spacing would be killer. I mean, I think my biggest problem with that is he has gotten, I mean, it feels like at this point, 7, 8, 9 times a game, Najee's got the ball out on the perimeter and been wide open and has just passed it up or missed it 3. But a lot of times has completely and totally passed it up. Celtic killer Caleb Martin. I don't know if I would feel super confident that Caleb Martin could play 20 plus effective minutes night in and night out. PJ, I am confident in. He's had a rough couple games. He has an ankle injury. That's the excuse. I've seen enough from PJ. Lively, I'm confident in. Clay, you guys seem a little bit more confident than me, but 20 minutes, okay. PJ is not low-key ass, man. God. How insane was it that they played PJ if he was obviously injured? I don't know what their training staff's doing, to be honest with you. Gaff, I don't think I could confidently say Gaff can play 20 plus minutes in a final series. Confident. I think there are some matchups that could be very, very bad for him. I think this is it. I don't think I could get there with Najee the way that he's not shot the 3 ball at all lately. And Caleb Martin, I don't know. Just always hurt, and it's been a couple years since that. Christie, I think defensively gives you a high floor, and I think his 3-point shooting is for real. So I know he's struggled a little bit lately. That's fine. I'm confident in that. Gaff is close. Caleb Martin's close, I guess. Najee's close too, but we've never seen Max as a starter in the playoffs, though. No, I know, but I just think his play style gives you a decent enough floor there. Christie's a role player. I know Christie's a role player. All of these guys are role players technically. That's the whole point of this question. Why did Hardy fall off so hard? I don't know if Hardy was like really ever fully super on. Like, what do you mean by fall off? Fall off from where? I guess I'm lower on Gafford. I don't think he's close. Remember the plus minus numbers all playoffs between him and Lively? You think he's gotten better since? So that's why I don't have him listed. He has improved this year. Like genuinely. That stretch that he had after Luka got injured was the best basketball he's probably ever played. He looked awesome. Like, that's why I'm saying if you did individual team awards, he would win the most improved player for the Mavericks this year. However, you do have the taste of last year's playoffs where he just wasn't playable in certain matchups. Hardy fell off the small hill he was on. Yeah, no Dwight Powell, man. We've seen Dwight Powell be a starter on a conference finals team. I think that's true, but he also had a horrible stretch before that very good stretch. Yeah, it's been a weird season for Gaff. I agree with you. Same list for Lakers: LeBron, Luka, Doe, Gabe, AR-15, Rui Vanderbilt, and I'm taking Connect over Max Christie. What? You were in a playoff setting, you will feel more comfortable in Dalton Connect than Max Christie. Okay. I think the problem with talking about something like this, I think some people are still so emotional that it's just hard. Connect messes up every screen. Go back and watch that the 3 threes that Clay hit in that fourth quarter to tie the game against the Lakers. Go back and watch who's involved in all 3 of them. What do you think about the KD rumors and what will you be willing to give up? I definitely think the Mavs will be interested. Talking shit about the rookie. Oops. I mean, oh my God. You guys are in rare form today, honestly. All right, I think we're done. Our seating is going to suck so much, and guys will probably be back too early. There's absolutely no way we're making the finals, though. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this year is chalked completely. I really do. I really do. This is Tim Cato's fan survey. Why do I say I think it's cooked? I think the injuries, man. I do. I don't. It's going to be really difficult, and they're starting to lose games. And I think worse than that is they're really starting to look not competitive in some of these games. Like they're 2.5-point underdogs tonight, so bonus isn't playing. Have you talked about the Mavs' new 2-way signing? Is anything Kai Jones? No. Eric with the 499. Appreciate the stream while I'm on my route, dude. Have a blessed day. You too, Eric. You too. We might. This might be a very short. This might be the only thing we talk about today, only because we had all those tech difficulties. I didn't realize it was already 12:15. Oh, Adley Rutschman just hit a bomb. This baseball game was on my TV. Well, something you pointed out is even if they get healthy in the month, they have almost no time to get acclimated to each other's games. Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. That's my big concern. Thank you for getting me back on track. Michael Taylor with the 199. Thank you. It's just not enough time, man. It's not enough time to get acclimated with each other and make a real deep finals run. Like I just don't. And what's crazy, I think the West, the way that it's situated, is it's up for grabs. It really kind of is. But the problem is, again, I just don't know. Hey, look, worlds collide. Trace Thompson in the outfield. Klay Thompson's brother. So here's my prediction for what I think happens for this Mavs team. I think they end the season as an 8 seed. They're currently they're half a game out of the fucking 6 seed. The Clippers are falling down quickly, guys. They're falling down. I think they end up the 8 seed. And I do think they end up making the playoffs. Now, that's subject to change. Is Lakers versus Dallas round 1 all healthy a thing? It's possible. If the Lakers stay at number 2 and the Mavs are a playing team, it's absolutely possible. Michael with the $4.99. Why not keep Moses Brown and he could take Dwight Powell's roster spot this offseason? He had some good games, especially with our center injuries. They literally can't. They literally cannot keep him. I'm sure they would like to. The reason why I say that, I think the Mavs will get their bigs back, and I think they'll have like a 2 or 3 week stretch where they look really, really good. And that just might be enough in this clump of teams to separate yourself. That might be all it takes, honestly. You can talk about Luka going back to the locker room holding his thigh area. Yeah, Luka was limping a bunch last night, but he did look good and was hitting shots and talking shit. So it was the classic Luka experience right there. Like, that was the classic Luka experience. What do you think about the Lakers championship this year? I don't see it. Truthfully, I just don't. I don't imagine Dallas versus Lakers Western Conference Finals. I mean, that would be insane. The West, I don't see a team. So look, because this was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Let's just get into the contending teams. There's so many stats out there that just point towards this being, hey guys, you're overthinking all of these things. It's going to be Cavs, Thunder. Like, these two teams are doing incredible shit. And by pretty much every historical metric we have, teams that do what the Cavs are doing, teams that do what the Thunder are doing, typically make the finals. Like, you're overthinking it. In the Thunder's case, them doing what they've done this season, those teams typically win the finals. I'm thinking I saw the graphic going around that their point differential, teams that have had, I think it was a plus 12 point differential over the course of the season, pretty much always win the finals. And what's kind of crazy to me about that is the Thunder are still figuring stuff out. You know? The Cavs, 50 wins, 10 losses. I believe it's 6 of the last 11 teams that have done that have made the NBA Finals. So that's not as... It's not that big of a deal. I think where we're at with the Thunder right now is where we were at with the Celtics last year. Where it's, well... And the Celtics made the finals a couple years before, but it was still like, you know, there's some concerns. We haven't seen it really in a playoff setting. There's certain things that could come back to bite them in the ass, but the entire time was like, this is obviously the team that's going to win the conference. Like, obviously. I think the Thunder, I think that's where the Thunder are at. I don't know. I don't see a team in the West that's realistically, I would realistically pick against them currently. I mean, the Nuggets with Jokic is interesting. Hilariously enough, a healthy Mavs team is interesting. And that's why I said if the Thunder don't make the finals, I think it's a disappointing season for them only because they look head and shoulders better than every other team in the conference, man. They do. OKC, KFC, UFC, I don't. I can't imagine the Lakers beating the Thunder in a series. That would be so surprising to me. Lakers lose in 4. Yeah, the Lakers last night had a bad turnover problem. LeBron specifically, but Luka as well. Boston, I mean, the Celtics Lakers finals would be fucking insane. That much is certain. Y'all said that about the Grizzlies in 2023. There's almost next to no chance I said that about the Grizzlies. If it turns out I said that about the Grizzlies, that would be incredibly surprising to me, given everything I've ever said about them. Celtics will win that series in 4, to be honest. So, all right, let's talk about the Eastern Conference. What the Cavs are doing is incredible. Like, we've reached a point now where it's just all of the things that you could have said about them, all of the hesitancies you might have about them, which feel valid, right? Like, they have had stinkers in the playoffs. Yeah, they're 50-10. And they're beating the Celtics. They're beating good teams constantly. It feels like they're clicking at such a level. Like, Mobley's made a fucking massive leap. Hunter looks incredible there. Garland is back in a serious way. Mitchell can turn it on and play like a top 10 player in the sport any given night. So many casuals. Lakers already beat the Celtics without our best players in the game. I'm not regular season matchups. Random one-off regular season games, truthfully, do not mean much to me, man. Truthfully. I think J-Dub is good enough to be a second option versus Braun or even Chet. I mean, that would be the question that has to get answered. That would be the question that has to be answered in the playoffs. I think the Thunder defensively, the way in which they force turnovers, the size that they can now play with. I don't know. I don't. The Lakers changing things so quickly on the fly, and they've won some games recently. Shout out to them against good teams as well. I'm not going to believe a team built around 2 small guards and 2 non-shooters until I see it. That's just my basketball philosophy, and that's fair. And I would agree if the let's say the Cavs are 42-19, right? Let's say that was their record, and they were fighting with the Celtics for the 1 seed. They're having a great season. I would probably agree with that a little bit, and I would be much more hesitant about it. I would just say, they're good. They're a great regular season team, but we've seen them in the playoffs flame out. I mean, they're having a dominant regular season. That's the thing. They're having a dominant regular season. Y'all are overrating the Thunder's defense, dude. They're having like a historically great defensive season. No, they don't. I can't wait till we can just like all the dust settles and we can just have, you know, good conversations. I can't wait. I mean, it's like I'm talking to people who are living in alternate universes because they want to believe whatever the fuck it is they want to believe, and they don't want to believe like the things that are actually happening, the things that like actually are happening and taking place. Suns had a very dominant regular season and lost to the Mavs that did not have much talent. Stuff happens. That is true. You think Braun will lose against the AAU team of the NBA? Shea will not get the calls he gets in the regular season versus the playoffs. I'm not worried about Shea. Shea was incredible last postseason. Like, Shea was unbelievably good. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about him at all, really. I am worried about J-Dub and Chet. OKC's only beaten a super young, Zionless. Family Pokemon Gaming Channel with the $9.99. The How to Ruin a Franchise video is very well put together. I've watched every video stream you have made since then. You are go-to, bro, for a Mavs fan. Lakers, hashtag Lakers 18. Thank you, brother. So many delusional people, like people who think the Nuggets won't lose round one. If the Lakers are the 2 seed and they make it to the conference finals and they get the Thunder in the conference finals, I wouldn't give them a 0% chance. I wouldn't give them a 0% chance. I wouldn't give them a high chance, though. Only assuming, right? Like if the Lakers make it that far, then they will have gelled and gelled and gelled and gelled and gelled. Who guards Luke in the conference finals? I mean, I'm sure they'll put Dort on him. Thoughts on late game situations between LeBron, Luka versus SGA and J-Dub. So one of the things that the Thunder are great at, they're great at showing help. They're great at helping and recovering. They're elite at it, right? Which is nice against a team like the Lakers where you're going to double team Luka quite a bit, double team LeBron quite a bit. The problem the Lakers have had, and JJ even says this during the games when they're interviewing him, is the Lakers as a team still haven't fully figured out, all right, Luka's getting trapped, near half court. I need to be here. The ball needs to hit, the ball needs to hit this guy. We're going to go 4-on-3. We're going to swing it. I need to be in the corner. I need to be spaced here. They still haven't figured that out. And maybe between now and then they will have, they'll obviously have a much better feel for it by then. But that will give the Lakers offense some problems. It will. They still have won 5 straight, which is scary. They've won 6 straight. They've looked good in those games. They haven't looked incredible. The Nuggets game was the best they've looked. They did an unbelievable job on Jokic. That was Luka's best game, right? Luka's best game as a member of the Lakers. The Clippers are in a bad way right now, guys. And the Lakers did a good job, but last night's game had no business ended up being as close as it was. Vando's been great for them. Vando's been huge. I don't understand why you're undermining the Lakers after what they've done the last 2 weeks. So saying if they made the conference finals, I wouldn't give them a 0% chance against a team that is having a historically great regular season is undermining them. Okay, fine. Guys, fine. The Lakers will win the finals. Is that what you want to guys? The Lakers will win the finals. There you go, guys. Stamp it in. The Lakers are going to win the finals, guys. No point of even playing the regular season anymore. It's over, guys. No point. No point, guys. Let's shut it down. Celtics should still be considered the favorites to win it all. If I had, as of today, and this fluctuates for me quite a bit, but if I had to pick $1 million on the line, had to pick one team to win the finals, I think I would pick the Celtics. I think I would pick the Celtics. I'm concerned about the small guards and Mobley, Allen versus toughness for 4 series. So I'd pick the Celtics because the Cavs, yes, like the Cavs have had a great regular season, but there are playoff concerns. We've seen it play. We've seen them play out every time they've made the playoffs the last 2 years. So okay, I have my hesitancy there. Other teams in the East, the Knicks are good. The Knicks are a great team. Do I feel confident enough in the Knicks defensively in a 4-game series against a team like the Celtics? No, the Knicks also have had really struggled against the top teams in the league, but I don't think that's the end-all be-all. No chance the Bucks make any noise. I wouldn't say no chance. I would not say no chance. They're definitely a player in this. The Celtics are the benchmark, even for the Cavs. Do I realistically think the Knicks can beat the Celtics in a 7-game series? No, I think a lot would have to go their way. Bucks, I think a lot would have to go their way. I don't think defensively they'll be tuned in enough. I think I think the Celtics offensively would give some problems there. Pacers been playing some good basketball lately. Halliburton's been playing out of his mind lately, but Pistons, great story. They won by a lot, but I was not impressed with the Bucks the other day. I mean, this current Mavs team is not going to stand a good chance against a team like the Bucks, but when you have Giannis, you have a chance. Period. Only reason Shea got off for some Mavs was because Jay could let him, but locked up his teammates. JJ will definitely do that. No, teams will definitely force J-Dub and Chet to do things. That goes without being said. That's going to be the swing factor for the Thunder. So how much does Nick have to pay to take over the Locked On Lakers? $1 trillion. That guy's just wrong. We didn't like Shea cook. We let J-Dub and Chet cook. No, yeah, I do also agree. The Mavs were sending a lot of help at Shea. And the whole idea was, Lou Dort will leave you a little bit open, but we're going to sprint at you, and we're going to force you to put the ball on the deck. J-Dub, you're going to have to beat us. Chet, you're going to have to beat us. We'll even give you some space from 3. We do not believe in you. And the Mavs won that bet. And Shea was just unreal. Like, Shea was fantastic in that series. He was. Yeah, Chet was bad in that series offensively. He said if you have Giannis, you have a chance. The Lakers and Luke and Braun, no chance. Is that what I said? PJ became prime Steph in that series. Mavs should have lost. No, the Mavs did control that series, I felt like, for a large portion of that. The Mavs controlled that series. I honestly never really felt like the series was in question after like game 4, game 5, game 3. And yeah, the only reason why, like, the Mavs completely and totally choked away game 4. Completely and totally choked it away. They just had that huge size advantage. PJ's overperformance is vastly overstated in terms of how much it carried the Mavs. It was big. I mean, they don't win that series without PJ doing that, but there was reasons for it. He was wide open. Like, they literally didn't guard him. And he made them pay. Why is Tatum so overhated? I know he does corny shit, but his resume is so loaded. I do think Tatum's reached overhated status for sure. The thing about Tatum, I don't think he's just not like a uber marketable guy. That's just it. It's not like shitting on him, you know. Seems like a really nice guy, really good player. But it's just, he's not, you know, he doesn't have the juice. That's it. That's it. He just doesn't have the juice. J-Dub is so ass in big games from the playoffs, by the way, and Chet's skinny ass can be easily matched by an elite small ball team like the Lakers. Yeah, I mean, that's the concerns. That's what I've said. Tatum's on a team that's absolutely stacked with talent fades into oblivion and is never mentioned again. The thing, too, is he's just not uber marketable. That's really it. That's really it. I mean, he's been a top 5 player in the league this year, hands down. He's been consistently a top 5 player for a while now. Yeah, he didn't have a great game shooting wise yesterday. If Tatum played in LA, he'd have an MVP. I don't know about that. I don't know if he's never had a season where it's like that. He realistically could have won MVP this year. Yeah, that was Asar Thompson took Tatum's ankles. Tatum claiming he should be the face of the league, and that's also another thing too. Is it's like I don't think people love I just think human nature. People don't love when people are like, yeah, I'm the face of the league, especially when it doesn't feel like it is. You know, like if I'm trying to think of a good, if Wemby came out tomorrow and was like, yeah, and I'm gonna be the face of the league, so I have to do X, Y, and Z, and then it's like, okay, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. One thing I hate about Tatum discourse is people saying he is so unselfish. That's why he doesn't have numbers. I guess that's true too. A lot of Tatum stuff. So the Tatum stuff reached such an awkward point where, yeah, of course, for some reason, he does have a target on his back for the media. And it is like an easy dunk. And look, Colin Cowherd was not wrong. And I don't think Colin Cowherd was shitting on Tatum, the player, when he was like, if you close your eyes and think about Jason Tatum, what do you see? He's right in the sense, and it was going back to what I was saying. He's just not marketable. He's just not super marketable, and he's correct on that front. And it was funny. You're right. It was funny. But the impact of aura in today's NBA. Well, when you really kind of think about it, when it comes to marketability, it's always been aura. Even before we fully grasped aura, it's always been aura. But sometimes it does reach a point where it's like, all right, man, Like when you're trying to combat, it's two extremes. You have the people who are just like constantly shitting on Tatum all the time. And then the people who are trying to combat that by like constantly praising him, like, oh, that was a great pass to an open shooter. It's like, well, yeah, he's a fucking superstar. Everyone makes that pass. Ever notice you say funny like fuddy? Funny? Fuddy? Huh. I did not notice that. If Luka wins the chip with Braun soon, he's going to be a global face of the league 100%. Very possible. Very possible. Luka's next 5 years, the way that he's marketed by the league, will be interesting to me. Do they market him as the face of the league? It's possible. I always thought Luka could have a face of the league chance. I got the whole international player thing, but the way that he plays, the amount of shit that he talks, I don't see why he could not be the face of the league. Do we really think Luka's going to stay in LA? I mean, I don't know. It's way too early to tell. Face of the league conversation is so silly. These things just happen. They happen naturally. They always have. I think these things will sort themselves out. You can't force it. It'll just happen. LeBron will retire, and someone will fill the void. That always happens. Mavs out of the playoffs. Did you root for the Lakers? It's difficult for me to say right now, to be honest with you. It's difficult for me to say. Who you picking in a playoff series? K and AD or Shea and J-Dub? K and AD. Kai and AD or Shea and J-Dub? Well, Shea's the best player in that group pretty comfortably. Honestly, in a playoff series, I'd pick Shea and J-Dub. Just being honest. Just being honest. I mean, you go with the top end guy. So do you think it's hypocritical? Luka was literally having an MVP season and the media was shitting on him, but after joining the Lakers, they keep marketing him? No, that's not surprising at all. It's crazy. SportsCenter came on after the Suns game last night, and they were showing the highlights from the Lakers game. And I mean, dude, they're just highlighting like the most Luka passes there is. It's like, dude, Luka makes 12 of these a game. Like, we were gonna do a montage every game now? Where was this? This could have happened. I think that Anthony Edwards absolutely could have been the face of the league. I think he's way too volatile off the court, honestly. I think that's it. He has everything that you want for the face of the league. Too much off the court stuff. He's volatile on the court. That's all fine. On the court stuff's cool. And there was a time Ja was going to be the face of the league, and I think the league probably thought Zion was going to be the face of the league. These things, that's what I'm saying. These things just kind of happen. Wasn't MJ volatile off the court? It's a different time. It's a completely different time, man. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we would view MJ differently if he was here today, but it's a different time in the social media era, and we kind of know everything there is to know about these guys. It's a completely different time. That's why LeBron is kind of one of one. That's why LeBron is one of one, and it's why Wemby has a good chance, because by all accounts, Wemby's kind of the same thing. Just kind of goes about his business. That's that. By the way, Simmons and Russell said that the Mavs called Timberwolves and Bucks for Giannis and Ant, but never offered Luka. You see that? Well, I saw that. I saw that they apparently talked to those teams. I mean, it was reported right when the trade happened that the Mavs asked another team and they said no. Luka will 100% look different after the summer when he's introduced to the diet and the plug and those doctors in Germany. I hope so. I really do hope that this is playing next to LeBron is this sort of, oh, okay, I really look how seriously LeBron takes this shit. I have to reach that as well. T-Wolves and Bucks had no clue Luka was available. I have a hard time believing that. So you're telling me the Mavs just called the Bucks like, hey, what about Giannis? And the Bucks are like, what the fuck? What do you have to trade? And the Mavs are like, If I had to guess, the conversations were like, hey, would Giannis be available potentially for a crazy trade package? Wink, wink. You think LeBron comes to the Mavs, Kyrie at 80 years boys? No, but that would be a hilarious turn of events. Would you prefer a buff Luka or a skinny Luka? I always thought a buff Luka sort of fit his play style a little bit better. LeBron has a no trade clause. He ain't going nowhere without the Sun. Why do I think Shea isn't considered to be a face of the league type of guy? I don't think that book is closed just yet, to be honest with you. I don't think it's impossible that Shea turns himself into a face of the league type. I don't think it's impossible. If the Thunder end up becoming a team that wins a bunch, then Shea will, because of that, become one of those guys. OKC is too small a market. KD was a ginormous face when he was with OKC. So I don't know if that's it. Right now, the reality is we've only seen Shea in 2 playoff series. That matters. That matters. So I'm not... And the difference is because you might be thinking, well, Wemby hasn't been in a playoff series at all. Wemby was a super hype prospect. Those guys are different. Shea was not a super hype prospect. When you're a super hype prospect, you already are like halfway there. Is there just too much talent to have one face? Yeah, and you could even argue right now, LeBron's absolutely the face of the league, but Steph is like right up there. Face of the league is racial. Let me tell you something right now. The moment a white guy comes into the league and looks like a star, that it's game over. So I very much disagree with you there. If Cooper Flagg ends up looking like a legit star level player, the running for face of the league is over. Okay. A white American player. I should have phrased that better. A white American player. White guy from America. Yes. And that's exactly right. It's young fans and casuals that determine the face of the league. We can sit in here and talk about face of the league. It's not really us who's determining the face of the league. It's not really us. It's... And by the way, I'm not saying it needs to be that, but that is the reality. It's more difficult for European players because the average American is going to look at that and be like, I don't relate to this person in the slightest. Want to hear something crazy? Reed Shepherd was the first white American drafted for a black American in decades. That's not that crazy. There's really been like a. I mean, I'm trying to remember who the last like really kind of hyped white American guy was coming out of college or coming into the draft. Chet, Adam Morrison. No, Gordon Hayward. Was K-Love a super hyped draft prospect? Admittedly, I don't remember. You think AD and Kai retire here? I have no idea, man. Shohei's the face of the MLB. MLB is different. Their players aren't as. NBA is different from every other sport, at least American sport, because it's so star driven. It's so superstar driven. And I would say more than any other sport, I can't really speak on soccer, but more than any other sport that I really do know is we know about these guys. We know their personalities, like their personalities spill onto the court. It's obviously a major team sport, but there's 5 guys on the court at any given time. And having one superstar changes the dynamic of your team more than any other sport does, besides maybe a quarterback. And even then, I would say, So in baseball, it's a little bit different. Also, Shohei's different because Shohei's kind of undisputably the GOAT. Like it's I think almost everyone is in agreement that we're probably watching the greatest of all time currently playing the game. Shohei is one of the GOATs of every sport, so yeah, he's going to get his dues. And he's up with the Dodgers now. They just won a World Series. Caitlin Clark treatment incoming. Caitlin Clark, absolutely. Wait. Hold on. Proud vet. What are you saying there? Caitlin Clark is one of the faces of sports currently. Juan Soto is better than Ohtani. Casuals think Ohtani is the GOAT. Look, the GOAT for me is Barry Bonds. Okay. Period. Barry Bonds is the greatest of all time to me. And that won't be touched. The face of a niche subsection of basketball shirt. No. I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark has become a super duper megastar. Like just go look at the women's basketball numbers. They literally Caitlin Clark games and like big time Caitlin Clark games compared to NBA ratings. Women's college basketball last year did better than men's. She is absolutely on icon level. Are you buying the Cooper Cup to Cowboys rumors? I haven't. Is that a thing? Cooper Cup, old, probably on his way downwards. Yeah, I buy it actually. 100% I buy it. What's the demographics of people watching WNBA? I would say there's a pretty solid crossover. He's not old or out of his prime. Cooper Cup? All right, I'll take your word for it. Do you watch the WNBA team consistently? Consistently, no. I will say this, though. I watched the WNBA in women's college basketball last year more than I ever have. So I have a Caitlin Clark shirt. Clark has a Trump-like fan base who followed her to the WNBA, having a white American superstar in the NBA leads into the same jealousy. I think I will say that I've seen some Caitlin Clark fans who do fit the billing that you just said. I will agree with you there. Now, that being said, though, she's a massive, 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 massive presence. She's a massive presence. And when we talk about like the moment another white American superstar enters the NBA, there's absolutely going to be a bit of a racial component there. 100% there will be. Look, guys, I'm not a dumb fuck. I'm on Twitter. I see it. I have followed some people. I see it with the white Euros as well. I see some of the shit that gets said. So I'm not stupid when it comes to how it'll be treated. Şengün fans are insane. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff said. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff said about Kyrie. Did you talk about the Mavs raising ticket prices? I mean, I don't really have much of an opinion on that, to be honest with you. If not for racism, Luke would be the face, no question. No. It's not racism. It's more it would be more xenophobia than anything else, to be honest with you. Will we ever get to face the league on LeBron's level again? Well, I hope that the league lasts for a very, very long time. So just law of averages and probability would say, yeah, probably. But I don't see one in the pipeline. It also sort of feels as though that was like perfect timing for everything. Like that felt like that was perfect timing. LeBron came in at just the perfect time. The league was really looking for a uber marketable megastar. And LeBron came in this super hype prospect. Lil Ness with the 199. Will you follow the Wings after the draft? So yes, are we feeling more confident in Paige? I know there was a solid stretch where there was a lot of dooming and glooming going on. Are we feeling more confident that Paige will be a member of the Dallas Wings? LeBron coming in at that time as a canon event, no doubt. Yeah, and he was hyped up for years before the draft and immediately was incredible. And you knew he was incredible and you knew he was one of one immediately. And then on top of that, he transitioned really in a lot of ways, just sports culture in general, into the social media age almost effortlessly. Like it all worked. And beyond that, he's like flawless outside of basketball. He is. He's had a spotlight on him his whole life, damn near. And I mean, how many slip-ups has he had? LeBron is flawless. I mean, all things considered, the China thing is it. And that's really, I mean, all things considered. Well, I'm not talking about like the Twitter rumblings and rumors, like the Yes Jewel stuff. I'm not talking about. I'm not really talking about that. I'm saying in like the real public light, guys. And I want you to understand when you're under this much of a spotlight, guys. Michael Phelps, they wanted to publicly execute Michael Phelps for smoking weed. Like, do you understand when you're under that much of a spotlight and you are like the face of sports in a lot of ways, even the smallest thing is enough. I mean, do you remember the Tiger Woods shit? Like, realistically speaking, what was the Tiger Woods saga? That was like the leading story for weeks. Cheating. Cheated on his wife. That was the leading story for weeks, man. Weeks when that dropped. And the DUI, yeah. But even then, wasn't the DUI kind of like this weird... Crashed his car. That was all crazy, but yeah. Am I misremembering? Wasn't the DUI he like pulled over on the side of the road? I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. But what I'm saying is when you're in a public spotlight like that, even something that's a personal matter that really doesn't affect anyone else. No, I know DUI is not a joke. I know. I'm saying, though, it would have been so easy for LeBron to have one major slip up. So easy. Yeah, I don't remember it specifically, but I do remember it being crazy. Would you have slipped up with Yes Jules? I really don't even know who Yes Jules is. I mean, isn't she like a radio personality? If LeBron got exposed for PEDs, would he still be a GOAT candidate? I think old heads would take exception to that. Although I think most people probably just assume he's on PEDs. LeBron is not perfect. He definitely has skeletons in his closet. Well, if he does, we don't know about him, really. I wish Luka would take steroids. I'm not even kidding. LeBron had a marketing team when he was in junior high. I mean, yeah, he's perfect. He's the perfect face of the league. LeBron been to Diddy parties. He admitted it. I mean, a lot of people went to those parties. The question is, who's doing the freak shit? All of them. Weren't those parties like, and I could be wrong, weren't those parties like the white parties that dude, where there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people? I gotta be honest with you. I haven't kept up with the Diddy stuff at all, man. Yeah, we'll stream the game tonight, assuming there's not a technical difficulty on my end. Luka might be on PEDs now that he's lost so much weight in an instant. No, LeBron's not natty. I mean, let's get serious. I don't know how these streams are so funny. It's funny because I was like, this stream's going to be short. And now we're talking about Diddy for some reason. How do you think LeBron avoids getting caught for PEDs? He probably takes some super advanced shit that only like 12 people know about. It also is. So let's say LeBron got popped for PEDs. Let's say LeBron got popped for PEDs. How confident are we that the league is going to make that public? Like, honestly. No way. Like, literally no fucking chance. Absolutely no chance. Need more Gucci Mane clone talks? Gucci Mane clone talks begin and end with me is why on earth would they clone Gucci Mane? That's always been the funniest conspiracy theory in the world to me. Why on earth would they clone Gucci Mane? After Inside, I just joined to the PEDs talk. You still have your fastball. You know, in a lot of ways, it feels like I've gotten to one of those pitching schools. I feel like I've gained about 4 or 5 miles an hour on my fastball. Honestly, I feel like all things considered, I probably gained about 4 or 5 miles an hour on my fastball. I think we're about at 98. Why not clone Gucci Mane? Do you guys remember how prominent that conspiracy theory was? Dude, did you see Gucci Mane look like out of jail? They cloned him. It's like, why on earth would they clone him? What is there to gain from cloning Gucci Mane? Think about it. They did that with Avril Lavigne. Why would they clone Avril Lavigne? Like what's hey guys, I have a conspiracy. Biden died 3 weeks into his first term and they cloned him. Okay, see that one I could be like, all right, I get it, I guess. I kind of understand. I guess I get it. I guess I get that. With Gucci Mane? No, you guys don't get it, man. Gucci Mane's holding this shit up by a thread. Everything falls apart without him. You need test subjects? Well, okay, here's the harsh reality. The test subjects would just be some random people they would kidnap. Just telling you right now. Now, I guess you could maybe say, well, they need a public figure to see if people would know. Okay. Gucci Mane clone is just hilarious to me. Thoughts on Kodak Black's music? I like his old music quite a bit, to be honest with you. Does your cat watch NBA games with you? No. There is a totally real conspiracy that LeBron was made in the lab. I've heard that conspiracy as well. Finn's fastball's humming. All right, if you listen to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. I'm sorry this got so derailed. Actually, no, I'm not. We will be live tonight, 7:30. Mavs take on the Kings. Matchup of the century. Bold move by sticking to the Mavs and not Luka. I mean, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do, ultimately, at the end of the day. Who do you have in this game? Tickets as low as $9. Holy shit, folks. Let's go Mavs win. Why not? Playback.tv/slightly biased. Went from Face the League to Diddy to Gucci Mane. And we want to know what's crazy about it is they are all connected. It wasn't like I just went, all right, next topic is Gucci Mane cloning. It just kind of, I don't even know how, but it kind of devolved into that. He's getting more and more like a Luka hater for some reason now. How, man? Guys, listen to this. Guys, let me explain something to you really quickly, okay? The amount of times that I've been accused of being a Luka hater. If I was a Luka hater, right? I would have just outright said it at this point. I would have just been like, yeah, guys, I was. And I'm excited I can move on now. Like we're a month in. You are low-key a Luka hater. I mean, I would love to hear how. I've never heard, and I saw my number one fan tweeted the same clip again a couple days ago, only because somebody tagged me in it. The same clip from the joke, the 10-second clip from a joke on a podcast. That was just the most lighthearted shit in the world. And it's like, man, you realize that we've done so many episodes. Like the number one piece of evidence that I'm a Luka hater is that clip? Really? Sonny, SGA or Luka, which would you take? What, like this season or? Like who's just played better this season? I mean, SGA is going to win the MVP. Which would you rather have on the Mavs? Currently? I mean, I think I'd rather have the guy not coming back from an injury. Is that crazy to say? Go watch Slightly's trade reaction stream. No way that was faked or he's a hater. No, I'm just the greatest actor in the world. So SGA over AD? Well, yeah. Of course. We'll trade AD for SGA at a heartbeat. Who would you rather have on this current Mavs team, Jokic or Shea? So that's where the Jokic and Shea conversations get interesting. Because like I'd rather have Jokic on my team for sure. Paul at the 5, and Oscar for best performance goes to Slightly Biased. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. I get what this current roster would be weird with so many centers, but I would just rather have. I'd rather have Jokic. Give SGA is the top 2 player in the league right now. If we're just going off of this season, yes, absolutely. I mean, not a hard hater, but we can see slowly leaning that way. Okay. I mean, you guys just make up things in your brain. You guys just make up things. You can't outright say it because you love the Mavs, but you had a Luka hater glasses on and didn't give him the benefit of the doubt when he gives up basket on defense to the dudes, the whole team. Was I harsh on Luka at times? Yes, because I actually, in my heart of hearts, believe that Luka could be a top 10 player in the history of the sport. And I'm not afraid to have had those high expectations for him, understanding what's required to reach that. Because I've seen it. I've watched basketball for a very long time. I've seen all-time greats come in and go out the league. So I know what is required a lot of the times. And so, yeah. We're all hard on Luka, especially Slovenian fans. So why is it different when I do it? I don't understand. Reader with the 199. SGA got outmeted by the Don. He can have MVP. SGA soft ass whistle doesn't piss you off. I don't think SGA has that soft of a whistle. I really don't. I don't know. I watch the games. It looks like he gets fouled. That's that. Some ran with the 499. Honestly, there shouldn't be a combo between Jokic and SGA. SGA is great, but he ain't touching Jokic boots. Also, I'm a Luka guy, but don't lump with them stands. SGA is having an MVP season for sure. I just think if I had to pick one, him or Jokic to have on my team, I'd pick Jokic. Why are Kyrie stands so toxic and hate watching Luka for no reason on Twitter? I mean, all stands are toxic. Every stand that there is toxic. Luka can't be top 5 unless he really gets fit and contributes consistently to defensive end in a positive way. I mean, you're right. I mean, if we're talking about all time, you are correct. Some ran with the 199. I think Jokic is having a top 3 season ever. I mean, what's crazy is Jokic is also having an incredible season. But Shea's just on the winning team. And the on-off splits with him is insane. Like, it's going to be him. People forget the origin of the word stan. Yeah, stan was not always a positive thing. You really didn't want to be called a stan or call yourself a stan. But Luka a better season last year than Shea's having this year. I thought Luka should have won the MVP last year. I said it a trillion times. It is still not a positive thing to be called. No, some people call themselves stans in like a positive way. Jokic actively point shaving when he goes on national TV because you don't want the MVP. Oh, man. Yeah, Stan originates from the song Stan. That's on people named Stan. Probably not a great name to have since the rise of the word Stan. Although Stan, very, very, very much a Twitter thing. Can you explain how the Lakers defense is better with Luka instead of Anthony Davis when everyone says Luka is so bad at defense? I mean, their defense was performing really well even before the trade when AD was out, but a lot of it has to do with Vanderbilt coming back and stuff. And their transition defense is absolutely better without AD. Thoughts on the song Stan Eminem? Great song. Thank You by Dito is better. The song that it samples. Just better. Slide, does Jokic play D? He is not good defensively, regardless of what people want to tell you. Gaslight you into believing. Trading for Dorian, yeah, of course. Thoughts on being a Mavs maniac stan? Seek help. All right, that's going to do it for me. Very interesting stream. Very interesting stream, to say the least. Wednesday morning, we'll be back for slightly early. Luka's actually a decent to great ISO defender when he doesn't have to carry the offense and healthy. Peep his December stats when he was averaging amazing defensive numbers. I don't really get why can't we just say Luka is a solid defender when he's locked in, which is absolutely true, and it's something I've said forever. Like, why do we have to throw around great? Some random with the 199 Lakers versus Cavs finals. Who you rooting for? I don't know. I'd have to see it. I'd have to know how my feelings are. Eric with the 499. Spurs are getting Cooper Flag and Stephon Castle for Rookie of the Year. Go Spurs, go. That would be fucking disgusting. Stephon Castle yesterday popped off. That probably seals it. Honestly, that probably seals Rookie of the Year. No, Luka can be a solid defender. And that's all he has to be. That's literally all he has to be. Spurs with back-to-back Rookie of the Years would be nuts. I mean, if they get Cooper Flag back-to-back-to-back Rookie of the Years. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back. You're a hater. He could be as good as Prime Shaq. You're right. Luka could be Scottie Pippen defensively. Horace Grant just needs the goggles. This place is almost as bad as the Mavs subreddit. No. That place is terrible. Terrible. That place is awful. I mean, that's true. No, there's not a lot of good subreddits out there. Y'all are just soft. No, the Mavs subreddit is soft. That's what soft is. All right, folks, thank you all for tuning in. All the OGs, guys, I love you very much. Could have spent your Monday morning anywhere in the world you decide to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members. You guys never have to do that, but it helps out your minutes. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be live tonight for the Mavs game. We'll be live on Wednesday morning here. Sully, do you like us here or what? Yeah, of course I like you guys. Love you guys. I'm just surprised how you are slightly biased to the Mavs, but not Luka. Why does that surprise you, really? I mean, I'm a Mavericks fan. Keep in mind, guys, this is all stemming because of the fact I said the Lakers wouldn't have a 0% chance of beating the Thunder, but I wouldn't pick them. That's where this is all stemming from. That's right. The United States of Dallas. All right. Thank you all for coming out. Love you all. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Talk with you all later. Bye.